What exactly does speculative mean? My name is Gina. I'm an author, editor, publishing professional. I help you make your writing better. You are not alone in being confused by this. A lot of people use this term differently, and so I'm going to give you a general overall sense of how this term gets used in the publishing industry so then you can go forth and parse out what people mean within specific conversations. Speculative generally refers to those genre elements of things that never have been and are not real or realistic. There's also most of them never will be realistic, so these are going to be fantasy and horror elements and even science fiction to a certain degree. There is some science fiction that is very grounded and based in real science and is sort of guessing about what might come next in the future, but we don't know. We are guessing at best. So most of these elements, when we were talking about speculative elements, are things that are not real, have not ever been real, and are very unlikely to ever be real if it's even possible. So again, this is going to be fantasy, science fiction, horror, so magic systems, monsters, mythological creatures, all of those things are going to fall underneath this umbrella. However, you will also see speculative fiction or speculative stories as if it is its own subgenre. When it is used in that sense, it almost always, but not completely, almost always is referring to something that is more literary and has sort of a speculative flavor laid over it. So this is going to be like magical realism or very literary low fantasy where the magic system just sort of interacts with the world and it's never really explained, but it's also not this big spectacular fantastical in your face thing. It's just sort of there. It's just like a piece of the world. So that is speculative as a subgenre, and then there are speculative elements. Confusingly, some people use those interchangeably and they will be representing speculative fiction, and they mean the whole gamut. They mean the really literary stuff, and they also mean the really fantastical stuff that gets sold to the little niche imprints. How do you know which one they are using? Context clues. You're going to have to do some of this sleuthing on your own. Not everybody uses it consistently. Not everybody is using it the same way. You're going to have to use some of your grown-up context clue thinking and try to figure out what they mean when they are using that term.